Hello viewers, here is a General Electric metal 3-blade box fan. Information's tag is not on, so I'm not really sure what the model number is. I am sure that there's somebody out there that can tell me. Probably has told me many times and I've just forgotten again. I was talking to that letter about these fans recently, and so I figured I ought to do a new video of these fans because I don't think I have recorded either of these since I got this new camera. I have two of these, or very similar ones. The other one is the 3-speed non-reversible model. This one is the reversible model, and both of these have kind of a story to them. The first one, the non-reversible one, was the first one that I got, and that one I got at the high school I went to. It was in the auto shop. It was under like a table. It was clearly long forgotten about. I think the cord had come off and it clearly hadn't been used in a long time and wasn't really cared about anymore. And so I asked the teacher about it and he said I could have it. And so I brought it home on the bus because this was before I had a car, and that's just, every time I think about it, that becomes more hilarious to me because I don't think you'd be able to do that anymore, and that even wasn't all that long ago. But so that's where that one came from, and that one of course has a lot of good memories. So I had a lot of good times in that auto shop. I had a number of really good teachers in high school. He was one of them. And then the second fan, this fan, it came from a local tag sale. I'm pretty sure it was one of the sales I had seen on the computer, and I looked through the photographs and I saw this fan in the photographs, and the sale was kind of out of the way, but I went to it anyways to pick up the fan. And as I was walking out of the sale after I purchased the fan, there was an older man that said, I forget exactly what he said. He said something about the fan, how he was going to the sale because he wanted the fan too. And so we had a little conversation about the fans, and because my grandfather had one very similar to this years ago. I think we talked about that fan too. Anyway, so both of these have a neat backstory to them, and these are really good fans. These are probably some of the best box fans that we saw. They have some issues, they have some serviceability issues, they have some balance issues, but these were very early in the box fan era. I believe these came from the late 60s, and I think it would be hard to find a box fan that moves more air than these do. And there's a lot of debate about the motors because they're the uni-bearing motors, which are notoriously difficult to service. But the reality is, these fans are over 50 years old at this point, and most of them have never been oiled, and most of them still work just fine. So, although I'm never a fan of a non-serviceable motor, there's something to be said about that, because these are standing the test of time, despite the lack of ability to be serviced. Now, it really isn't all that hard to lubricate these motors. All you have to do is take the motor off of the mount here and tap a hole in the center of it with a nail, and then you can put some oil in. Now, I don't know what the heck I was doing here with this. That piece of styrofoam is not in there correctly. Let's go ahead and fix that, because that ain't right. Should be like that. Well, this is going to be kind of difficult to put back on. these grills could fare to be repainted. I think. Yeah, I don't think they're just dirty. I should take a pressure washer to it and see if it cleans up, but I think they have to be repainted, which is fine because they're just white. This fan is really in quite good condition considering the age. There's very little rust anywhere. There's a couple of patches at the bottom that are starting, but otherwise it's really quite nice. And it's very clean too. There's not a lot of dirt on it. The handle is still there. It still works correctly. And the wiring is all original, which is kind of uncommon. The only major failure that these fans experienced over the years was with the wiring. They had a tendency to fray at the flex point where it enters the cabinet, and this one is in fact suffering from the issue as well. You can see here it has exposed the copper on one side, and so this is very close to becoming extremely dangerous. It is only that one side, so it's not going to short out, so I'm still going to plug it in and show it during the video, but it definitely needs to be rewired. All that you got to do is, cut the cord here and then push it in an inch or two and reconnect it. It's easy to fix. Now, my grandfather had a 5-wing version of this, and the cord got screwed up on that one too. Seems to happen quite often. And then, of course, the other one I was talking about from the high school, the cord was going on that one, so it must have broke as well. Here's the original speed knob and reversing knob. There was some discussion about this fan appearing to be a green color. To me, this switch looks like it's kind of green. The rest of the fan is, I mean, it is blue. They didn't come in any other color besides the blue and the tan. But if it looks green, it's just because of the lighting, or because of the camera, or because it's probably got some dust on it. So anyways, let's go ahead and plug this thing in and see how it runs. I haven't turned this on in a couple of years, so it could be slow to get going. That seems to be the case with these motors. They seem to take their time starting up, especially when they've been sitting for a while. I don't know if this is the original plug. I don't think it is. I tend to think it would have had a molded plug originally. And I'm noticing that this is loose, so that needs to be corrected before plugging this in, because I'd like to be able to unplug it and not have to strip apart the whole outlet because there's a prong left in there. Jeez, both sides were kind of loose. Okay, that's correct now. Alright, let's get this plugged in. Oh, I have a kilowatts meter out here. Oh, might as well plug that in. I'm not sure what these are rated for, but they probably draw quite a bit of power because they are shaded pole motors. Okay, so we're going to be testing at 120.9 volts. And here we go. We'll start off on low. Try to get this camera to not be in the wind stream. Okay. Now low does come first on these, which I like. Well, I knew it was going to start out kind of slow, but this is ridiculous. It's drawing 2.65 amps. So I have to start it up on high. Now it's drawing 4.57 amps. Are the bearings locked up? Oh yeah, the bearings are kind of locked. Well, not enough. It's for it to not roll backwards. It's really out of balance. Huh, why is this taking so long to get going then? Still pulling well over 4 amps. This is probably about what it's supposed to run on low speed. And that's really out of balance. I mean, that's ridiculous. Now it's starting to pick up speed. Still pulling 4 amps. Down to about 3 amps. It's so... I don't remember it being this bad. This is ridiculous. The volume of air this is moving is absolutely insane. This is ridiculous. I can't believe how out of balance that is. That's comical. That is outrageous. That's going to need a lot of balancing. My goodness. Now I know why I've never used this. Ugh, that's awful. Jeez. Outrageous. That's so out of balance, it's ridiculous. Okay, let's try the reverse. I'm sure it'll be just as out of balance. Look at that thing shake. This is ridiculous. I can't believe how out of balance this is. It's, I mean, I don't see why it would have, but it's got to have gotten worse over the years, because I don't recall it being like that when I first got it. It was never in good balance, but this is not even usable. Okay, well, this is going to be a project.